All right, welcome back to Flubs Talks, the podcast, episode 226. Today on the show, they tried to pass a toxic spending bill. We'll tell you what was in it and how it was stopped. Then, a White House whistleblower has come forward and he's describing just how bad Biden's old man brain has gotten, and even worse, they knew about it the whole time. Then in Cringe of the Week, we have a bad dog section, followed by Urban Decay, where we have more bad people who are on the road with us. All this and more, it's Flubs Talks, the podcast, episode 226, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Flubs Talks, the podcast, featuring Richard Rapboy. All right, 1 for 1 on the intro, as always. Guys, our country witnessed a moment we'll never forget. We saw a man get shot on stage, rise up, fist in the air, and in defiance scream, "Fight." Sadly, a lot of us have lost our fight, and that's exactly how the globalists want it. They want us weak, out of shape, and full of estrogen and microplastics. This is why we're excited to partner with Chalk. Chalk offers a whole lineup of products formulated to increase your energy, focus, detoxify your body, and boost your testosterone. The ingredients in Chalk's male vitality stack have been clinically studied to boost free testosterone by 87% in just 21 days. Unlike the gimmicky vegetable pills or powder, you will feel the difference, and they have clinical studies to back it up. And right now, you can get 25% off of your Chalk subscriptions for life. Just go to chalk.com, CHOQ.com, and use promo code FLECUS at checkout. 25% off of your subscription for life. You can cancel at any time. Chalk is made in America, and their all-American customer service team is standing by to assist you. It's time to make men's vitality great again. Get Chalk today. CHOQ.com is the website. FLECUS is the promo code. Go there now. They support the show. Let's support them right back. You can also call or text them at 50-CHOQ 3000. That's 50-CHOQ 3000. Thank you to sponsoring. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Chalk for sponsoring.
Thank you, Chalk.
Thank you for all the gains too, Chalk.
Yeah.
We're putting numbers up in the gym, and we couldn't do it without Chalk. So very much thank you to Chalk. All right. Happy Friday, Richard.
Thank you.
Last show before the big break.
Yeah, have we appropriately announced that yet? People understand that we're on break, we're going home for Christmas type stuff?
Going home for Christmas. Yeah, there's going to be this show today, a bonus land today. Christmas is next week, so next Friday there will be a bonus land. And then the week after, Henchman Maxing 2 comes out on December 31st on FlexusTalks.com.
Yep.
So lots to look forward to if you're a bonus lander. And if you're not, you just enjoy some weeks off.
Yeah, enjoy the holidays. There is a little bit of a content drought that happens over, Christmas. Everybody's off, so everyone gets a little ornery. They have to sit there and think. They can't just listen to a podcast and do the dishes. They're now empty-handed. So I get it, but, you all need some family time, too.
Exactly. And I wore my nice jacket for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a little thing for you guys.
There you go.
All right, we have a lot to get to. We have a big show, and if it goes long, it goes long. It's Friday. Everyone's just fucking around at work, pretending to be doing something with one ear pod in, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that serious, and I don't think this episode is going to be that serious either. So
we got some good stuff.
All
right, first things first, Satan Claus is coming to town.
There he is.
Here he is in New York City. Very festive, very appropriate for New York.
Is that trans or is that a bit? Like, the line is so blurred. I mean, the skirt, he went out and bought the skirt. So.
And then the shoes, the stripper heels. I think it just falls under the mental illness umbrella.
Yeah.
And then within that, there's a lot of spokes, and we don't have to get into the details.
For sure.
Mentally ill.
Yeah, the walking, handicapping yourself with that slow walk, that's mental illness, brother.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into some stories, some interesting stuff. This one's kind of a rumor, but I'm running with it. Can you read the headline?
Well, the Gateway Pundit reported it, so we're going to read the headline. Border czar Tom Homan suggests Arizona Democrat Governor Katie Hobbs will be, quote, behind bars on day one for refusal to comply with mass deportation efforts.
So even if it's a rumor or not, that's what I want to happen.
That's good negotiation. It's kind of Tom Homan adopting the Trump mentality of threatening these people.
Yeah.
We need the people who have harbored illegal criminal immigrants for years now, probably a decade. Katie Hobbs obviously is relatively new, but they've done that for decades now. They need to be on their heels and scared a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like when Biden's been in power, our laws were kind of just looked at as like loose guidance.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, it's not really illegal, but let them in.
We don't enforce this one. We don't enforce that one. We don't enforce this one. So if you do X, Y, Z, then you and your kids will live in America forever. As long as we have power, right?
Exactly. So the days of like light treason with no repercussions are hopefully coming to an end. If Katie Hobbs has to go to jail because of something she did, that's what has to happen. And
then it's also just saying, here's a hard red line in the sand, and if you cross it, there's going to be consequences. So making them feel, get them on their heels a little bit is what I'm thinking.
Exactly. All right, let's get into our next story, one of our more important stories of housekeeping. There was a whistleblower, a White House whistleblower that came out who was talking about how bad and dumb and slow and fucked up Joe Biden's old man brain is. I think it was a Wall Street Journal that was who published it.
Yeah.
Richard Hanania summed it up. It's going to be a little bit of reading, but it's worth it. Can you give it a read, Rapboy?
Yeah. So it's a Wall Street Journal article that finally comes out. It's like we're 6 months after the debate where Joe Biden obviously showed everybody. And it was titled "How the White House Functioned with a Diminished Biden in Charge." And here are some highlights in quotes. It said, "At events, aides often repeated instructions to him, such as where to enter or exit a stage, that would be obvious to the average person. Biden's team tapped campaign co-chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg, a Hollywood mogul, to find a voice coach to improve the president's fading warble." So a voice coach, entrances and exits.
And then this isn't even like, oh, what's our policy with South Korea on our imports again? Or what are we going to do with, how are we going to do inflation? It's like how to get in and out of the room.
It's logistics, and it's like human logistics. It's not like a scale. It's not like transportation logistics. All right, yet a sign that the bruising presidential schedule needs to be adjusted for Biden's advanced age had arisen early on in just the first few months of his term. Administration officials noticed that the president became tired if meetings went too long and would make mistakes.
Well, that makes sense because he has to get to bed before Wheel of Fortune comes on.
Yeah, that's standard old man shit, right? And then here's another quote. "If the president was having an off day, meetings could be scrapped altogether. On one such occasion in the spring of 2021, spring of 2021, that's a year in, a national security official explained to another aide why a meeting needed to be rescheduled. Quote, he has good days and bad days, and today was a bad day, so we're going to address this tomorrow, the former aide recalled the official saying.
And that's spring of 2021. He was inaugurated in January of 2021.
Yeah.
So that's like 3 months in.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking.
You gave him a
year off, yeah. At some events, the Biden campaign printed the pre-approved questions on note cards and then gave donors the cards to read the questions. Even with all these steps, Biden made flubs, which confounded the donors who knew that Biden had the questions ahead of time. And Hanania says he thought he was going to keep doing this until 2029, which is why he was running for re-election.
So jail for anyone who's even in Biden's inner circle.
Yeah. And, I would say that, we're surprised or something. We knew this all along. All right-wingers knew this all along. There were pictures of his note cards. You take your seat, like bold font shit.
Stay in your chair.
And then he wasn't even hiding the cards. He wasn't even hiding them. And then obviously he would always come up to the microphone and be like, okay, who's next? Wall Street Journal, Megan Rapinoe, who? Like, he was telegraphing it. And so we've known it. And it's funny to see the Wall Street Journal kind of be the mainstream media who finally confirms this years later, right?
Yeah.
So
5 years later, I remember doing Man in the Street videos about the 2020 election. And my main question was like, do you really think Biden has the mental capacity to do this? And that was in like 2020 before the election even happened.
And, this is the past. Joe Biden's persona non grata other than pardons on his way out. But like we do have to litigate the past sometimes because the information comes out so late, And we're going to do that with George Floyd a little later in the episode. And
And I hope we do it with Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter, you got personal beef with Jimmy Carter. What did he do in the 80s? What did he do in the early 80s?
I don't know. I just don't like that he's letting his meat body puppet get used for Kamala Harris shit.
Yeah,
You should have just gone to bed.
You're right. But
that little wife. Remember that picture of them in the chair?
Tiny.
The little people, little puppets, little mups. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not good. I don't like shit like that.
All right. Yeah, some funhouse shit. So that really struck a chord with you.
Some real funhouse shit. Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's like, what we got wrong with COVID, or the January 6th committee finally admits, and it's like Biden was retarded after all. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe this is just a lesson. Listen to your heart. Follow the alternative media who actually reports and spreads these things that are, going viral online, but MSNBC doesn't address, And
it also, if you're like a mainstream media consumer, when the mainstream media, Wall Street Journal, comes out and says, oh, Biden's been retarded this whole time, you can go, oh, man, Biden's retarded. Good thing we swapped him out, and it was the right thing to do. I'm going to keep going to the Wall Street Journal to see what they say next because they were honest about Biden being retarded.
Exactly.
It's like it gives people the track, but like 4 years too late. But you still have your credibility because looks like Biden was in fact retarded.
Yep.
All right, our next story: bird flu. Governor Gavin Newsom just signed a bird flu emergency declaration. And that was obviously in California.
Yeah.
I don't know the details. It sounds like one person's died so far, but there was an old video on News Nation about the bird flu, and listen to what this guy says.
I remember you told Chris not long ago that the bird flu could make COVID look like a little pandemic, which was quite alarming. I mean, is that really the case?
Yes, Brian, I really do think it's very likely that we will at some time, it's not a question of if, it's more of a question of when, we will have a bird flu pandemic. And as you mentioned, unfortunately, bird flu has, when it does enter humans, has a significant mortality. Probably somewhere between 25 and 50% mortality. So it's going to be
That's interesting. And that's kind of what we've been talking about, how the next pandemic can be an actual pandemic.
Yeah.
And bird flu doesn't sound good. And then also, if you kind of zoom out and look at the chessboard, bird flu would be a good excuse to go after independent farmers, people doing high quality beef farming and raw milk and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So then you have, RFK and all the Trump people who drink raw milk, they're getting us killed, bird flu. And they'll probably have some like deep state person put bird flu in a big independent Amish farmer or something, and then we can get blamed for everything again.
Yeah, and isn't that nothing new? Haven't they tried to blame RFK for like visiting some island and people dying there too? Yeah. I don't know the details of that, but RFK like has to fight that rumor every once in a while.
You like killed a whale, you chopped a horse in half.
Yeah, well, some of those he did. Right?
Some he did. I don't know what.
There was a bear.
There was a bear. Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah, so bird flu season, I don't know. Is it going to become something? I think they're a little late. It's not the election. It didn't come before the election, but obviously something's warming up, right?
Yeah, if bird flu comes around in January to February of 2026,
January 2020,
what year is it? 2025.
Yeah.
Then you'll know it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Again. All right, our next story is a compelling one, especially if you're like me and you're obsessed with the George Floyd stuff. I actually have a George Floyd Kamala shirt on again today under my suit jacket. Mm-hmm. I remember like, years ago, I was saying how Derek Chauvin's going to get let out. BLM's going to freak out. I thought it was going to happen before the 2024 election. Didn't end up happening. But it looks like there's some new evidence coming out now that could bring my parlay back alive. It's about the details from his autopsy and stuff. Can you read the tweets?
Yeah, it says, oh my God, am I reading this correctly? Was George Floyd alive when he arrived at the hospital? A new court ruling just dropped allowing Derek Chauvin being allowed to test the heart tissue of George Floyd. Little typo there, that wasn't on me. What I'm more interested in, page 3, look what it says. The autopsy report shows that ante-mortem blood was collected by HHC on 5/25/2020. By definition, ante-mortem means before death, so a judge just acknowledged George Floyd died after he left the scene. And I think that was known the whole time. I'm pretty sure that was a fact that we kind of pointed to, people on the right wing, but the judge didn't allow it into the trial. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where if you don't allow it into the trial, a jury doesn't know it, and then, oh yeah, that guy killed him, right?
Yeah, and then you had the FBI creeping around and getting involved in a weird way. Obviously, we don't trust the FBI, and it's gotten out of hand, so it makes sense. Can you read the Charlie Kirk tweet?
Yeah, George Floyd's medical examiner changed the autopsy report after meeting with the FBI. Yes, you read that correctly. For some reason, the FBI was involved in the George Floyd autopsy.
So we're going to send Kash Patel in there.
Kash Patel, maybe even send Tom Homan in. Those guys with a 1-2.
Mm-hmm. Get everyone arrested, find out exactly what happened, free Derek Chauvin, give him a Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
And then...
I was going to say, maybe invite him to the Army-Navy game or something.
Give him $1 million cash.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he got stabbed in prison, and the whole knee on the back thing was protocol for the Minneapolis State Police. They changed that after the fact, right?
And George Floyd had a heart problem, and he was alive when he left.
George Floyd's
fentanyl in his system.
And George Floyd's another big thing in the trial in terms of letting people letting facts in or out is the drug dealer who sold George Floyd the fentanyl mixed with meth pills that were pressed pills. He wasn't given immunity to testify, so he was just pleading the fifth on the stand. So there wasn't information yeah, I did give him a lot of fucking shit, a lot of pills. You know what I mean? There were just a lot of little miscarriages of justice that got swept under that 2020 mania, right? The same mania that allowed giant corporations to hire whole new DEI departments and dumb shit like that. There was mania in the courtroom as well. And so, I mean, we obviously want to see justice done. I don't think the guy should rot in prison and get stabbed in prison by people.
I really feel bad for what's happened with Derek Chauvin. And I think we release him, and then that'll get BLM going again, and then there'll be bird flu, and then it'll be 2020 all over again, but this time bird flu George Floyd too.
Bird Flu, George Floyd 2, Chauvin's Revenge, it would be the title. But doesn't this make not make that much sense that it's after the 2024 election? Shouldn't some of this shit been accelerated or,
I think if
that's where you lose me a little bit.
If they did it before, I think the Republicans would have been out in full force because they did it last time, remember, as a narrative thing. And then that's how they justified the mail-in ballots. Oh, everyone's mad about George Floyd racism. Trump's racist. That's why all the mail-in ballots came. They didn't really have the mail-in ballot operation this time. So if they did BLM burn the cities down again, I think even more Republicans would have been we're done with this shit, voting for Trump.
Yeah.
So I don't think they had the 1-2 parlay with the mail-in ballots accompanied by the racist claims because of George Floyd.
Yeah. And it's been a long-term position of this podcast that BLM is losing steam. So we'll see what happens if they do end up releasing him. And if Trump's in office, the national response, I think, would be a lot stronger. He doesn't want to see these cities burn again.
We saw what happened last time, and everyone kind of got away with it. Yeah, exactly. Everyone got away with it last time. They destroyed the monuments, did all this stuff, and everyone was kind of scared. This time, I think we start arresting people who do bad stuff if they start BLM protesting again.
Yeah.
All right, we have a little bit of a migrant section, not fully, but just something I wanted to show you guys from our friends in Pakistan, India.
Something.
Looks like India.
What's going on here?
All right. So after thousands of years of human development, in the year 2024, the year of our Lord 2024, you finally learned about ass wheel? It took you that long? Thousands and hundreds of thousands of years, and in 2024, right at the buzzer, right before 2025, you just learned about ass wheel.
I didn't know they had Indian drag people doing ass wheel shit like that.
Ooh, I didn't know it was drag.
Look, these are dudes. These are guys.
So they got to drag first,
Yeah.
and then ass wheel.
Yeah. I don't know. This is the migrant section, you're saying? Yeah. This is what you're up to?
And that was it. That was the only clip from it.
All right.
So we're going on to our next thing, the CR spending bill that got...
It's going from ass wheel to spending bill. Come on.
That's why this show's so good.
All right.
That's what I like about it.
I question your decision making.
You can go anywhere with it.
Okay.
And then when people try to do a Mediaite article or a right-wing watch, and they go, oh, right after the ass wheel section, they spread misinformation about the CR spending bill. I make them watch the ass wheel thing, and they'll go, this isn't a serious show. We don't have to write an article about this.
That's true.
We don't have to ruin these guys' lives.
All right.
All right, so the spending bill, there wasn't a vote on it. It was about to be voted on a few days ago. And it was just full of shit.
Yeah.
Can you read the list of stuff?
Yeah. This is a summation on Twitter. $60 billion to Ukraine, unconstitutional force of courts to protect Congress. That was a big one. Past and future blanket immunity for deep state, unconstitutional emergency powers, mask and vaccine mandates, gain of function research, funding of 12 biolabs, vaccine passports, and then this was all smuggled in with like hurricane aid relief.
Yeah, and then that put people in a tough spot. Like in our district, Anna Paulina Luna, the congresswoman here, her district was very heavily affected by the hurricanes.
Yeah.
Like wiped out, needed funding. And it put people like her in a tough spot where like you're kind of, if you vote no on this crap bill, you're voting against hurricane funding for your district.
And it's like, I'm really voting against all the fucking 1,400 other pages that are in this piece of shit bill, right?
Yeah. And then if you do vote against it, then you have the Democrats do, the hit piece commercials at the next election saying, Anna Paulina Luna voted against hurricane relief for Pinellas County.
Yeah.
Anna Paulina Luna's happy your house got wiped away.
She wiped away your house actually personally.
She was laughing about it. But I think the days of those types of commercials are kind of like coming to an end anyway, because once everyone figured out what was really going on with this bill on Twitter with Elon and everyone tweeting it, they knew it was like a deep state bill that you couldn't vote for.
Yeah.
But years ago, before you had this transparency, if you voted against it, maybe that ad run against you in your next election that you voted against hurricane relief, that could actually be effective. Now everyone's so woke to what's going on that it's like they sniff the bullshit.
Yeah, and this is just, it's crazy because Trump got elected so in such a big victory, and we've been talking about government efficiency and shit, and Congress, like a drug addict, is looking for one last hit before the, dad comes home or something. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the fattest, porkiest bill you've ever seen. And, this is our fault too as Republicans. Like Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House.
We took him to the UFC.
We took him. He got to go to the Army-Navy game too.
And he was looking around like a little kid having fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's my friend.
Oh, I get to ride on Trump Force One. And then you do this piece of shit bill. So, like...
And then he canceled his trip to AmFest.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pussy.
I would too. I mean, and that's the point. Is like there's this certain swampiness that transcends Republican and Democrat, and like these people just love slipping in favors and spending and shit. It's like, can we get a single page bill? Can we just vote on hurricane relief today? For real Americans and not attach a million things to it. But that's the way Congress works, and that's what we obviously want to change, right?
Yeah, we're going to need those biolabs in Ukraine because we have something in the works for next January.
Yeah, we need those biolabs up and running for bird flu season.
It's like what? What was that part?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it comes across. But I'm glad to see it worked out the way it did. Everyone voted against it. Probably not going to vote on it. Nothing new until Trump's in power, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's like, you think I care if the government shuts down? You guys fucking light money on fire. I'd be so happy. I want an extended shutdown.
Yeah, send everyone home.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting into it now. Mayorkas.
We're getting into it now. Yes, we are. We're deep in the show.
Well, once you swing on Mike Johnson, you're getting into it, know?
Well, everyone needs to do better, right? Don't people need to be held accountable and shit? Like, I don't care. I'm not like a my side, your side. It's like, what the fuck is that doing in the bill? What's that piece? Someone explain this sentence to me. Who wrote that? And it's lobbyists.
And the bill's like this big.
It's crazy, dude.
They try to squeeze you and make you vote. Dan Crenshaw. I don't even know what Dan Crenshaw's talking about lately.
He's been thrashing around online.
He's been really squirming. He's a real rat. Don't get me started on Dan Crenshaw again. I could do a whole episode on Dan Crenshaw.
I think he voted no, though. I think he voted no.
Okay, that was close, Dan.
Or was threatening.
Why, Dan?
Yeah.
Why wear mask and photo, Dan? Okay, Mayorkas did an interview on MSNBC where he's talking about China hacking all of our stuff. And here's what he said.
China has, in fact, hacked into our telecommunications providers, some of them. And the extent of it is quite serious. And I should say that in response to that, we have taken action. We in the federal government have stood up a unified coordination group, a multi-agency response to this hack. Just today, our Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency published mobile communications best practices that everyone should read, especially people in positions of responsibility in the United States government. It's a very sophisticated hack. I can't speak publicly to how it occurred, but the telecom providers are focused intensely on it, and they are working in partnership with us to remediate it.
But how long has this been going on? Months?
It is not an overnight hack. This is a very sophisticated one.
And it's still going on.
And it is still going on. And
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, but I released best practices memo.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of bullet points. It's this big. And
guys
it's full of
should
all kinds of crap, too. And you should read it.
Yeah, read my book. Read my book that I wrote.
So I guess he's maybe. I'm glad to see he took a break from like opening the border wall to go do an interview and put a tie on.
That's right after. That's after the NBC. He's like, sorry, I got to run, Martha. I got to let 10 million people in. And this is like Homeland Security, right? Like Homeland Security. It doesn't feel like we're doing much security. Like we're missing half of the name. Doesn't feel like we're really winning out there.
It's like Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
You know, you're not really planning any parenthoods. Homeland Security.
You're botching it.
You're not really doing any security for the homeland.
Yeah. And so, I mean, thank God this guy's time is coming to an end. But
He should go to jail too.
I think he's the top contender for actual jail time.
And we're not just saying this because we want to put all of our political opponents in jail. We have reasons for every single person. They did things. We're going to find out, and they're all going to jail.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving on to the final page of housekeeping. Tickle and juice, please. I can't do the full spiel.
Okay, that's fine. We're headed into Christmas. It's the Are you in the Christmas spirit?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to not be a Grinch.
Okay, but then you see the Mayorkas video and you start getting grinchy.
I know.
You see Mike Johnson and you see what Mike Johnson did. You start getting grinchy.
We took you to UFC, Mike. Should I snap it back?
Snap your fucking finger back.
Makes
I'll
me
drive
wanna
you to the hospital.
Makes me want to snap it back. Yeah. All right, first things first, in my page of housekeeping where I can talk about whatever I want, I'm allowed. There was something that was very disturbing that was posted online that I was involved in. And I haven't been the same since, and I'm not sitting right with it.
Shaking you to your core.
There's something that's really afoot that I do not understand, and I just want to tell you guys about it, and then maybe you guys can help me understand in the comments, or maybe support me online when you see what I'm battling. Can you read the tweet, please?
Yeah, what conservative pundit do you want on your side during a bar brawl? Only one right answer, geopolitical implications. The options are Timcast, Ben Shapiro, Fleckus, Jordan Peterson. And Fleckus won almost 10,000 total votes, but he only won 47% of the votes. That's a plurality, not a majority of votes.
I barely even won.
Yeah. Tim Pool is second place with 31% of votes.
People were saying, I think Ben Shapiro is scrappy. He's 5'5" Jewish guy. He wears a yarmulke. What are you fucking talking about?
Tim Pool, I don't think he's that tall either. He's a small guy.
Tim Pool's a smaller guy as well. I'm not going to talk shit on Tim Pool, but if you asked him, hey, Tim Pool, would you pride yourself on your ability to knock someone out? I don't think he'd probably go, no.
No.
I'm a beanie.
I play Magic the Gathering type shit.
Yeah,
right?
which is fine. Like, not everyone needs to be a fighter, but if it's a fighting poll and then you put me in it and one of the guys is 70 years old and on pills, and then the other person is a 5'5" Jewish guy, and then Tim Pool, who I'm sure is nice, I don't know what to do.
Major disrespect, yeah. Maybe some people just didn't know you. Maybe they were like, oh, random.
Some people said I'd never heard of Fleckus. I'm going to vote for him because everyone else, whatever.
Yeah.
But that really rocked me. Can you read a couple of the responses? There's nothing crazy here. We're not going to spend too much time on it. But there was one.
Smart answer is Pool. He's least likely to panic given his previous wartime journalism. But I'm picking Peterson because it would be the funniest. Shapiro is built, someone said. Built like what? Built. I'm not even going to be too mean. I picked Tim Pool only because I think he could talk the brawl down before it got started. That's not the question, guys.
It's not the question.
Yep.
Can any of those people bench 225?
I doubt it.
Can any of those people bench 225 over 20 times?
I doubt it.
Well, here we are. We're not going to spend too much time on it.
Yeah, I told him this was a bonus land topic, and he insisted. He insisted to address this in the main episode.
It's been on my mind too much this week.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's get into our aliens. Let's get into the aliens section.
Hey, can I be honest? I'm done with aliens.
Me
so
too.
Just cook on this yourself. I'm so tired of aliens now.
Me too, but it's like a champagne problem.
I know, but nothing ever happens. I'm in
it's
the
gonna
nothing ever
happen.
happens camp now.
It's going to happen, and this one's different. Okay, what's our first clip from aliens? Joe Biden is putting the worries to rest Be rest assured that Joe Biden can handle this. He was asked about it, and here's what he said.
What's the explanation for all those drones over New Jersey? What's behind all of that? Nothing nefarious, apparently. But they're checking it all out. I think it's just one. There's a lot of drones authorized up there. I think one started and they all got it. Everybody wanted to get in the deal.
Oh, so yeah. So one started and they all went up and want to get in on the deal.
So, all right. Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then
New York Times piece coming in 2029 about how Joe Biden wasn't capable of understanding the drones in New Jersey.
Yeah. All right. Next, remember the Men in Black that we showed from Niagara Falls, and then we made the correction or the amendment that they also have no eyebrows?
Yeah.
This is from a TV show, and look how they're presented.
What's this all about?
We're here to ask you a few questions.
That's enough. But the eyebrows.
That's what they're up to.
A lot of times the CIA will tell Hollywood, like they did with Steven Spielberg, what the aliens look like, what they act like, what capabilities they have, and then when they make the movie, it's kind of like predictive programming for what's eventually coming. So that makes sense, right?
Okay.
Okay, next we're talking about plasmoids.
So these are called plasmoids, and the drones are actually probably government drones chasing these plasmoids, and they don't want us to know how important these are. These are magic.
And it's all about these geometric shapes and plasmoids. And I've now only, after digging into science, realized that that's really what these orbs are, is a plasmosphere. So whoever had sent me this, and they basically say, like, this power is unlimited.
Have you heard the theory behind orbs, aka plasmoids? Take a listen.
Okay, plasma is the
Plasmoids,
fourth
guys.
state of matter.
It sounds good. I don't think we learned anything from the video.
And the plasmoids apparently have like unlimited free energy. And then, or the technology or the capabilities for that. Like the amount of energy in a plasmoid is crazy. There's a lot of plasmoids. And then you can make them free energy, which is a thing. That's a thing that everyone knows about, free energy.
Perpetual energy.
So then you have plasmoids that can bring in free energy. There could be like a golden age uplifting aspect to the aliens.
Okay.
So I just wanted to get plasmoids. I want to plant that seed with you guys. We've shown it, and then remember we showed the NFL from the 1979 game?
Yeah,
and
those were plasmoids?
And those were plasmoids. And that was the same thing.
It's crazy.
So the plasmoids have been around for a long time. The bad guys have been trying to keep them from us. Trump's going to meet the aliens, make a deal, free energy for life, golden age ushered in.
Okay.
Next, we actually have footage of a drone taking off, an alien ship taking off. Here it goes. Uh-oh. Ruined your project.
Yeah.
Ruined your little garage project you worked all 5 years on.
$2,800 in supplies, gone. Nice try. You wanted to fuck with the neighbors.
And then we actually have our first UFO message that was directly delivered to humans.
What is it?
I don't know. Let's see. Some kind of message.
What happened?
It's a Friday show. We're
What
relaxed.
happened to this show?
We're relaxed. It's a Friday show. Okay,
I can't do aliens anymore.
That was the last one.
I know.
And
We're
off
coming
for
back
2
from
weeks.
break. I know. We're coming back from break, and we can't.
Unless something
an
seriously
alien comes and
happens.
shakes Trump's hand, I'm not doing aliens again. I never get satisfied. Urban Decay, I get satisfied. We reach conclusions. We understand human nature.
But don't...
This alien shit.
Don't count them out, because they could help us talk about the 2020 election fraud stuff. They might know the real score of that election. We talked about that before. Okay, last piece of our alien section. I was on a walk earlier in the week. No one's going to believe this, unfortunately, because my phone was dead, so I had it charging at home. And I went for a walk with Jerry, and I saw a UFO. Not necessarily in a ship. It was an unidentifiable flying object that I saw near the moon. It was orange. I have like a picture I made of it from Instagram stories. It's the only thing I can use to make it, to reenact what I saw. But it was like this little orange orb. It had a tail on it. It was during the full moon. It had a tail on it like I'd never seen before. It looked like a rocket, but the tail was curved. And then it was coming towards me, and then it stopped, and then it went opposite direction. and it had a huge tail. I've never seen anything in the sky with a tail, except when I saw the videos of like SpaceX launching stuff, and like California people saw some weird stuff. I really did see it. I tried in my head to communicate with it. I said, fly over me if you can hear my thoughts. Didn't do that. And then
Did you really do that?
I really did that.
That's like an instinct that you have. You go mental communication with the...
I looked right at it, and I start saying the same thing over and over. Like, if you can hear what I'm saying, if you can understand me, please fly over my head. If you can hear me, you can understand me, please fly over my head. And I never did. But I really...
that theory's out, so it doesn't...
I swear to God, I saw what that image kind of looks like, what I made. I saw that.
You saw something you
and
couldn't
I can't explain it. And I can't explain it. Maybe it's a rocket from MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. Maybe it's a weird whatever, a satellite or a test launch. But I saw something in the sky I've never seen before, and I didn't have my phone with me the one time.
Okay. There you go. You got it out on the record.
Yeah.
You're turning me into a Grinch.
Yeah.
I hate aliens now. The way we've done it.
Well, don't get too down or too depressed.
I'm getting down and depressed in housekeeping. That's not where you get down and depressed.
Well, this will help. We're going to end housekeeping before Christmas break with a new single from one of my potential future clients, Oliver Chuo, Oliver.Chuo on Instagram. Go follow him. Tell him I sent you. He has a Bruce Springsteen rendition.
Get in the evening. I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning. I go to bed feeling the same way. I'm nothing but tired. Man, just tired boy with myself. Hey baby, I could use just little help. You can start a fire. You can start a fire without a spark. Guns for hire, even we're dancing in the dark.
I mean, we're not uplifting gold yet, but uplifting and gold. Nice work, Oliver. Keep up the great work. Your costumes and everything have been on point. You're doing great. All right, we're into Cringe of the Week. Before we get there, we actually have a special message. Guys, I mentioned this on Tuesday's show. Gift giving season is here. Christmas is here. If you have a show watcher in your life and you want to get them the perfect Christmas gift, give them hours and hours and hours of exclusive content. FleckisTalks.com, bonus land. The website is linked in the description. Go there now. It's a perfect gift. They're going to have hours and days of content. Sometimes people watch the show, but they don't want to splurge. If you gave them this, you'd be giving them the show 4 days a week. The main episode on Tuesday, the main episode on Friday, the 2 bonus lands that you can watch Monday and Wednesday over the weekend, whatever your schedule is. It's a great gift for the holidays. FleckisTalks.com is the website. Bonus land, it's in the description. Great gift. And it supports the show. Let's get into Cringe. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is the emotional support Great Dane that was brought onto an airplane.
Hi, welcome aboard. Hi, welcome aboard.
Where does he go?
I don't know.
Is he sitting between your legs?
I don't think so. I don't think he can.
He gets his own seat.
And you can see the dog. He comes in. He steps on the flight attendant's foot. He's looking around like active. You ever see a real emotional support dog? They just kind of like, if they're on duty, they're just sitting there.
They're waiting to like react to help the owner. This guy's just bringing his dog home for Christmas.
So he sits in a full seat at the end. He got his own seat. And so this emotional support stuff, obviously, I think we've harped on it before. It's getting out of hand. People are cheating it. People are scamming it. It's basically the same thing as becoming trans to become a firefighter.
Yeah. And then there is like a nuance to it too. Like if you're making fun of Clown World and how absurd things have gotten and you're doing this as like a pushback, go ahead and do it. If you're right wing and that's your dog, bring your dog wherever you want. You know the rules now, how stupid it is. But if you're left wing, you're the problem.
Exactly. There is a little bit to it. If you genuinely think, oh, well, this is my emotional support animal. I deserve this. I'm entitled to this. This is my right. Get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're making fun of Clown World and bending the rules because no one will challenge you, even though you're clearly breaking the rules.
You have a Great Dane in 14C.
In coach. Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, so I don't know. The world is yearning for someone to stand up and say, hey, we're done with this bullshit. We're done. That's fake. You're out, you know, like get them out. So I don't know. Someone needs to stand up before this gets even more out of hand. I've seen a mini horse before. So people are retarded and someone needs to be a little bit of a fascist or some mean word when it comes to this animal shit, right?
And then a lot of people, so I'm not a huge Twitter person, but a lot of people online are doing replies, and they're like, oh, my Great Dane, blah, 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 he's a perfectly behaved guy, but I would never bring him on an airplane because he's too big.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, oh, this is unbelievable. This is clown. You know, everyone's just being like corny in the replies, getting their right-wing talking points in.
Obviously, everyone's against this. It's not, you don't need to chime in and give your unique perspective on why your Great Dane is good or whatever.
Yeah, everyone's like chiming in and like, ha, 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 Twitter replies. So I replied and said, go airplane, saw a dog like that, big ha ha from me. That's what I'm using the Twitter for.
Yeah.
I like it.
Dumb shit.
It's real dumb air fried shit. Speaking of shit, the next, I'm sorry for the language, German Shepherd shits on the ground.
You don't bring that dog in here anymore. Why do we have an issue?
I have a thing on it.
Look what your dog did in here. Look what your dog did in here.
Accident because he's on medication.
Okay, well then if you should know that. Now we have to call and get this cleaned up.
He's on medication.
The dog's on medication. It's not his fault. I brought the dog into Walgreens. He's on medication.
Let me get this cleaned up. I didn't know he's on medication.
Oh, he's on medication? Step back. I'll do it now. I'll grab it with my bare hands.
Oh, I'm eating it. Now I ate the medicine, and then when I shit, you can clean it up, and we'll close the loop.
Yeah.
He's on medication. I didn't realize.
Oh, the dog's on medication? Here, take the keys to my apartment. Have him shit in there.
How much do you owe in taxes?
Yeah.
I'll write a check.
Yeah.
Your dog's on medication.
Here, take whatever's in my wallet. He's on medication. This whole thing, man, this whole world has gotten so retarded that, you know, nobody's responsible. Oh, it's a dog. And it's like, yeah, that's why you don't bring the dog into Walgreens.
Well, you can't leave him roped up outside because migrants.
Yeah, some homeless guy will let him loose, and then he'll shit everywhere across the fucking whole city.
And then this clip actually keeps going. The woman who owns the dog is this black woman, and the guy holding the camera is the guy working at the store. And listen,
They own the dog together?
I guess the guy cleaning up the shit owns the dog with her. Okay. But listen to what she says when he confronts her.
Okay, well, I'm going to record you while you're.
No, you're not going to record me because recording's
you're
not.
out of control, sir.
I'm not out of control.
Yeah, you are.
You know
Don't
what?
get
Put
mad.
it away.
Don't get mad. You're doing it too, boo.
You know what?
No, Bubbas.
You can't.
That don't work that way, honey.
You know what? You can just
I'm
leave,
black.
lady.
No, sorry.
You
I'm
can
getting my
leave.
products.
You
and
can
you're
leave.
white, and you're threatening my husband and my service
Your
dog.
dog just shit all over the floor, and you know
And
what?
my dog's on medication.
Well,
and you just called me a nigger.
Go straight to it.
Oh, N-word accusation. He was filming the whole time.
You just called me N-word. And then the guy responds and says, oh, yeah, and your son, he's not allowed in the store because he's a thief. So she has a thief kid, too.
So this is the type of people who are abusing the dog regulations. They're shitting everywhere. But, you know, he's on medication. Oh, the Great Dane, he's on medication. We're turning back to Seattle. We have to turn this flight around. The dog diarrhea everywhere. But it's okay because he's on medication.
He's a little sick.
Yeah.
And then that lady, it's kind of, you know, the overarching theme of the world we live in.
Ticky-tack on the little rules that there are. Like, oh, that's my service dog, so he can shit here. And you, when I'm wrong, can't call me the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
All these little soft rules while she's the one who's clearly the problem.
Exactly. People bring their dog into a restaurant or into a store when they shouldn't. Yeah. And then if it goes to the bathroom and you get called out because you did something wrong, you called me the N-word.
It's simple as that. It's really, when you're living in gay world, it's easy to navigate it. If you play these little games, you know, upstanding citizen world is much nicer to live in. But little gay backwards world, you can kind of do whatever. There's no rules. Nobody's in charge, right?
Yeah. You called me the N-word. As you were.
Okay, get on out of here. Hey, whatever's in your cart, take it for free, lady.
Enjoy the rest of the
I'll
day.
clean up the shit. Yeah. That's like the world that these people think that they're in. And then, but when you're living in that bend the rules, fake gay world, everything's worse, you know? When you're in the upstanding citizen, take responsibility, do the right thing world, everything's better. But that's harder, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to just say, oh, he's on medication and you called me the N-word than it is to do the right thing and like You know what the funny part is, too? Those were two people together. They could have easily left the dog outside. Oh, honey, I'll stay outside with the dog. And instead, they both came in, shit on the floor, and then accused N-word.
And then the dog's nervous.
Crazy.
He gets scared. He doesn't like it.
Dog's going to bite soon.
All right, moving on. Page 2 of Cringe. We're still in Cringe. This clip is the thing is titled, "When the family you married into is all singers and theater folks, you get this at Christmas."
Wanting to hear words of good cheer from every word filling the air. Oh, how they come raising the sound, Lord, in the deal, telling the truth.
I woke up Burger King, making special Whoppers. I wear a paper hat. Would you like an apple pie with that? Okay, it's Christmas, you know? What do we do here? Do I act like a Grinch and make fun of these theater kids?
I'm turning into a Grinch this episode.
I don't want to do that. And these are nice people. The family's getting together. They all have hobbies. No one's doing galaxy gas or twerking they ass or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was going to kind of roast those people for being gay.
But it's Christmas.
But it's Christmas.
You know, we got enough strong families. One of the white families can be a little gay and a little theater.
Yeah, everyone's there. They all have hobbies. They have children. Not everyone's a football family.
They sound good.
And they sound good, and it's Christmas.
That's an aborted cringe. It's called an aborted cringe.
It's an aborted cringe.
Good for them. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You guys sound great. If you see this clip somehow, send me your address and shirt sizes, and I'll send you shirts for the entire family.
Yeah. Helen Keller did hire ones or something.
But you have to watch the whole episode and still want to talk to me after.
Yep.
Okay. Richard Rapboy on Twitter made a short list, and he was kind of asking for submissions of phrases and words he's done with for 2024. And he started it off. Can you read what you had?
Holding space. That's the new one. That's the Wicked interview, holding space. I've seen some other leftists on like the red carpet talk about holding space. My truth. Caitlin Clark fell victim to my truth. Lived experience. Those were the three. I said, get out of here, right?
Holding space, authentic self, my truth, lived experience. It's giving. That I don't know how to even work that one correctly or use it in a sentence, but it's giving no more.
Yeah.
Not doing that. And then doing the work is another one. And then I have a random one. Slash. You know Slash?
The musician?
No.
Isn't he a guitarist?
The grammatic tool.
Yeah, okay, what?
So it's like people talk like in corporate email talk, but then they'll use it in real life and they'll say like, oh, like, let's meet for introductions / discuss synergies. And they'll say slash. It's so cheap. And it's like a cheap email corporate thing. And then slash. And it's like, you don't know what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's just me. I get mad at little stuff. Like if I go to the movies and, you know, before you go to the movies, there's all the trailers for the movies that are coming up.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's like, boom, 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 June 2025, Transformers 10. And then it gets quiet. And then it's like, last summer, blah, 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 blah. And there's like a downtime in between the trailers where it's dead quiet, but then everyone's talking like, oh, that movie looks good. Oh, I'm going to see that. Crunching popcorn, plastic. That shit makes me mad too.
Okay.
So slash makes me mad. Hey, you want to go like out for brunch / drinks? No, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah. All right, I get it.
Put a bomb in your car instead.
I get it. Proverbially. Proverbially speaking.
So slash. I'm done with slash. Okay, we also talked about last episode, obviously, the words that could also be black names. That went great. That reel has like 200 and something thousand shares, which is great. Nice work, everybody.
So we need to crowdsource more leftist phrases that people hate like that.
Yeah.
Holding space, it's giving, all those. So comment if you have some. We're compiling a list.
DM us, Twitter us, whatever. And then after that, we said we're going to take submissions for Retard of the Year. We got some decent ones. We're just going to give it to Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
This was made by Mostly Peaceful Memes.
Mostly Peaceful Memes made that. Retard of the Year is Mark Cuban.
He was right. We can't reinvent the wheel.
Tim Waltz was in the running, but like no one even cares about him. And he's gone now. And all he did was ruin his reputation and his life. And he's a loser. So it's just Mark Cuban's the retard of the year. Congratulations, Mark. All right, moving on to Urban Decay. All right, our first clip of Urban Decay is a subway rider. I believe this guy's a doctor riding the subway. And look what he's doing. He throws it on the person filming him. That was close. Wow, let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook. This was what, Toronto? Somewhere?
I think so, yeah. And then the leftists will say, well, no one else was on fire, and he's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, just don't make eye contact with him, and then he won't light you on fire or swing on you or slash you in the face.
Yeah, this is what life in the city's like.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Conservatives are afraid of the subway and the buses.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say about that.
I'm just so tired of, like, there's been a lot of discourse recently on, like, averting your eyes or best practices for public transportation and stuff. And it's like, you know, somebody like me, somebody like Fleckus, somebody like Tim Pool, Fleckus, Tim Pool, you know, up here, because Tim's a fighter. Fleckus is just, you know, whatever.
Fat pussy me.
Pussy. You know, we can handle ourselves. This guy's not going to come up and do anything. I'll, you know, he's on drugs or something. I'll knock this guy out. I'm worried about women and children. What's this guy doing to women and children? Because if we as a society can't have women and children feel at least neutral, you know, you don't need to feel cozy and, everyone's protecting me on this subway car. But if you can't at least get to neutral for women and children, then we failed. We failed
Every
as a society.
city, yeah, you should be able to go wherever you want at any time.
And then this guy, what should he? Yeah, I mean, we already know. Everyone, all the city tough guys already know you avoid MLK, you don't go west of Humboldt in Chicago, and you don't go XYZ. Like, that's the disconnect in their minds. There's already no-go zones in cities. And then public transport should not be one of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. No lessons here. Guy's a retard. He should be held somewhere in a room, not living on his own, having supervision. And, you know, that's kind of how a certain percentage, and it's not a high percentage, of the American population needs to live. You
in
know?
a cage.
Yeah.
We're going to get to more of that later in the section. Next, we have a woman on a Frontier flight. Do you want to read the context or just let it rip?
Woman goes off on Frontier flight attendant after they refused to turn the plane around so she could get her phone that she left at the gate.
She lost her phone.
Everywhere. If I was white in a suit, you would stop the fucking plane. Laugh now. I am the president of this whole goddamn country. Watch me see the fucking TV news. That's a damn bona fide word. Yes, I need to get off this plane. And I'm going to tell you straight out, don't you ever come against nobody because of their skin color again. You had enough time. I've seen Frontier do illegal stuff several times. I've been riding you for the last 8 years. Don't tell me. You had enough time to stop that telepilot to not go. You just released him from the thing. I saw it out the window. I know it within my heart.
We called him, and as soon as we went up there, we called him. We told him that he is already on rapid English. They were already starting to push his back rate or something.
That's a lie from the pit.
If I was a white man in a suit, we'd turn this plane around.
That always happens. I say, flight attendant, please stop the taxiing. I seem to have left my phone at the gate.
I'll be right back. I can go on and off once I enter the plane and they close that door all the way, right? That's no big deal.
I'm also the president of the United States.
You can look at
Frontier goes, oh, yes, sir, right away. Thank you for flying. We're actually changing our call sign to Air Force One because of you.
Yeah, turn on the TV news and you'll see. I'm actually flying Frontier home for the first time because I'm flying into a different airport than usual to avoid some traffic. And I have that hack with Spirit Airlines where you can get like a first-class Spirit flight for the same price as a regular flight, and you have first-class experience, and you don't have to look at anyone behind you. I'm doing Frontier, and Frontier is like cheap. I've never flown Frontier before. It seems like it's worse than Spirit.
Yeah, it's similar.
So like a flight from Florida to New York was like $80, but then you can get like a first class type flight for $160, and then they guarantee you the middle seat is empty.
So I don't think there's more legroom or a true first class experience, but the first class of it is we're keeping the middle seat empty.
Which is a weird thing, but if you think about it, I'm paying double whatever their rate is. I'm keeping this seat empty, and then the guy on the other side is probably paying double too. So they just made 2 for the 1 seat and have a less person.
So they made 4 total ticket sales, 4 units for 3 seats.
For 2 seats.
Well, 3 seats available.
Yeah.
1 is empty.
And then 1 is empty. So it's like you're selling the same thing. The guy in my row, him and I are both buying empty seat and paying double for it, but still less than a regular flight. It's a pretty interesting concept.
That's good business.
I'm going to report back and tell you my Frontier experience. I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's like bus seats.
Yeah. You know what's funny too is we're all obviously a lot of people who will listen to the podcast are going to be traveling and going home, and the airports these days are such a keep your head down, get through security, do this, get to the gate. Looks like I do have 40 minutes. Enjoy a drink, get a beer, Imagine just going crazy in the airport. And we see it so much in Urban Decay. These people go fucking nuts at the airport. What is it? And so part of it, this woman was mentally ill, kind of.
She's got something a little screwed loose.
She's teetering on mentally ill, and then if you're teetering on mental ill, you bring race into it, and then people have to go, is this serious?
As you were.
Yeah, yes, Madam President. But I think another piece of it is the expense, the cost of it. A lot of these people, the spirit freakouts, whatever, they're like in a high-stress scenario because they're in credit card debt for the Miami trip.
And they think because they spend $400 on a round trip from New Orleans to Atlanta that they're owed some sort of like special privilege because they spent a lot of money, but it's not really a lot of money.
You actually paid the lowest get on the plane. You got the best deal. You're the cheapest seat. And I think that adds to it because otherwise me and you and everybody who's kind of normal, it's like, oh, thank God the lines weren't that long. I'm going to relax. I'm enjoying my flight. 2 more hours and I'm home. Like it's going to be a holly jolly Christmas playing in my head. And then other people are like, that was my last 500. Now I'm late. I can't get the Uber because, it's going to be expensive
You're
now.
not catering to me enough.
Exactly. So I think that's a huge stressor, the cost of it. I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying to figure out what they're up to.
That makes sense.
Mental illness mixed with being on your last dime is a bad combo.
That's a good point. All right, next, the euphemism person at New York Post is back.
Adult daughter bludgeons mother to death in her own New Jersey home.
An adult daughter doesn't look right to me.
Looks like a guy with a mustache. Adult daughter. 32. That's the roughest 32 I may have ever seen in my life.
Wow. And
It's a schizophrenic type. Like, where it's bad, but adult daughter is like, you have to specify it almost.
Hopefully no one runs into any adult daughters when they're home for Christmas.
Yeah, at the airport, avoiding adult daughters.
Okay, we're into our bad driver section we told you about in the intro. The first clip is a bunch of kids who stole their grandmama's car.
All we need is a flathead and a USB one. There, nigga, that's all we need. Hey, Bucks, he said, yeah, get up for it, take it back. I'm on there, What? Yeah.
You'd think if you stole a car and you're a kid, you'd just like go 30 miles an hour and stay in your lane and like, oh, we can go to the Chuck E. Cheese or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going like this. You're going to get pulled over and you're a kid. I don't know.
And what's crazy to me too, so this is obviously the Who's on the Road section. You got to be watching, head on a swivel out there, full stops at the stop signs. But these kids, they have that little kid voice, that prepubescent voice. They're like 10, 11, maybe 12 at the max, right? And then so as a society, they're already stealing. It's their grandma's car, so it's not like a stolen car. It's more of a borrowed, grandma's not pressing charges type car. But now we're stuck in a position where these are bad kids, and we have nothing to do to these bad kids from age like 11, let's call it in the middle, all the way till 17, and they can be charged as an adult for like something.
You have an opportunity if you're like a gang member, if you're in the gang or like a cartel, you just have these little foot soldier kids.
There's like a 6-year window where if you're bad by 11, there's a 6-year window where society can't do anything with you. There's no real tools. And then eventually, like on your 5th thing, they lock you up in juvie or whatever.
Yeah. What if we took every Section 8 kid, put them in jail, and then if they behave, we let them out?
I like the way you're thinking, Mr. Grimsh.
Tom Homan, can we work on this?
No, I mean, obviously that's a bit, but like, man, there's just something that like we don't have any tools as a society to deal with this. And then there's probably more bad 11-year-olds than ever. These are the type of kids who would be child soldiers, you know?
For Coney.
Exactly, for someone like that.
Yeah, these kids are up to no good, and it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, thank you. Very insightful. You're crushing it this episode.
Based on those kids driving in a car at age 10 and going crazy with the light on and hanging out the window, at least he was holding on.
Yeah.
That's smart.
That is.
Because if you just hang out and he starts swerving, you fly out. He knew to hold on to the arm thing. That is actually showing some smarts.
Okay.
So some of these kids have hope. All right, who else is on the road with us? This guy.
Your insurance. I don't have driver license. I don't have
Why
insurance.
don't you have a driver's license?
I don't have it.
You don't have one at all?
Nothing.
So why are you driving the vehicle?
Because I want. The vehicle is my vehicle. That's why I'm driving.
But you need a driver's license to operate a vehicle.
I don't need it.
Yes, you do.
I don't need driver license.
Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do.
No.
I'm telling you.
Because I have driver license. That's why you want to pull me.
No, I'm pulling you over because you're doing 88
No,
and a
I don't
25.
have driver license to give you, sir.
Sir, keep your hands out of your pockets.
For reason.
Because for my safety.
Okay, now, because you say that, okay.
I need your driver's license.
Because you told me to put it away. That's why I'm putting inside.
I need your driver's license.
I don't have driver license.
Yes.
Wow.
Doesn't speak English or barely.
He's mad.
He's mad and he's in the wrong, but he's going to get in a cop's basically his face.
Because he's going 88 and a 35 or a 45?
25? I don't know what he said. It was hard to hear.
88 speeding in any speed limit. There's nothing over 70.
I know.
But yeah, and he's mad because the cop's stopping him. And he said, I don't need a driver's license. I'm driving right now.
Because I want.
Yeah.
That's all he says. And then, to a judge, it's a different story. Or once he gets a public defender, which costs us money. So he barely speaks English. He disobeys the laws, like both in speeding and in like just registration and stuff. So real piece of shit. And hey, what happens when this guy hits you when he's going 88 and then you have some shoulder injury and neck pain? Your car's totaled. Good luck.
And he just runs off or something.
Yeah.
All right, don't get too down, too depressed. It's Christmas. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold. Our first story of Uplifting Gold. Now, this is going to be confusing to some people, and you might not even believe what you're about to see, but it's real.
I'll put in this note.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Your outlet was on fire. Hi, man. We just was walking by, and your outlet was on fire. We put it out and unplugged it. We was trying to get your attention, let you know your outlet caught on fire. And it burnt up your sidewalk and everything. Yeah, so we just unplugged it, make sure everything was okay.
Oh.
That's uplifting.
That's uplifting. And you might be saying, if you had a Ring camera and then these two gentlemen showed up, maybe you're a little nervous. Maybe you have your pistol out on the other side of the door and you're going, what are you here for? What do you want? And then maybe someone would say, oh, that's racist. These kids are just here to fix your outlet that's on fire. What do you think? Everyone's a criminal? Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing a joke.
I know.
Because 99 out of 100 times when those kids come to your doorstep, they're here to home invade you or steal a package from an Amazon package.
I'm going to go the pure uplifting gold route. Those were nice kids who did a neighborly thing and they helped that lady, whoever it was. There was a fire. It could have been a lot worse. And God bless those young men.
God bless those young men. Those guys are great guys. But also, let's have some grace both ways. So if you're in the black community and you think that white people are too scared of black teenagers so much, well, what about the car stealing and the shooting and all the crazy stuff? Like, it's not just because we're going, all right, who should we be mad at? Teenagers. What color skin? Black. You know?
We didn't roll dice for it.
We didn't roll dice for it. Let's have some grace both ways. Not every black kid is a criminal. Not every black kid is not a criminal either.
Okay. Very, very rational. Great work.
Okay. Our next story, dog tracks the child. He sniffs it. So the kid's missing. They have a bloodhound. They put his work vest on. They give him a bag of stuff to smell.
Sniff.
They say, this is what we're looking for. And he takes him on a long walk. And they fast forward it here. And they go all over these parking lots and apartment complexes. And eventually he finds the kid in a covered car.
Copy, yeah, he's sort of said at us.
Hey, Sheriff's Office, come on out.
On the opposite side, they got her bleeding through on the IR.
There's the boots right there. Hey, sweetheart, come on out. It's okay. Ah, Bubba. Atta boy. Good job, buddy.
Isn't that nice?
It is nice.
He helps.
He's doing his job. He's doing what he's engineered to do.
And he likes it. He helps.
He helps. That's a good dog with a purpose. Yeah.
And he saved a kid. It's not like you're looking for mushrooms or like the truffles or whatever.
Yeah.
That dog really helps.
And he didn't shit on the ground anywhere. And you didn't take him on a plane, and he's not gigantic slobbering on anyone.
And his owner didn't call anyone the N-word.
He knows his place.
Okay, next we are going to this cane guy.
Straight canes came about predominantly when gentlemen 100 years ago were using them as an accoutrement of their dress. It was seen as a man about town carried a straight cane just because he thought it made him look cool. Now, at Cane Masters, we're all about looking cool, but we think you should always be carrying a good cane with you. So this is something you may consider, but I believe you'll find a J-top cane has a number of advantages. This is a standard J-top cane from Cane Masters. It's called the J-top literally because it has this round top at the bottom. This is where the magic is. This is the world's single most successful ambulatory tool. Throughout history, this design is ergonomically comfortable, it's pleasing, and it gives you much more support than a single straight knobby top walking cane. We like it because it gives me comfort, it gives me a much broader grip for my fist. I'm not trying to compress it and get all of my weight balanced perfectly on a little knob top. I can distribute the weight along this entire surface of the J-top, and if you pick a cane with a palm rest, you can rest the palm comfortably there.
There's something about canes.
What is it?
It's like
old guys? Just for old guys?
Or maybe if you're a man about town. Based on what he said.
Are you ever doing that? Are you ever
I'm
a man
thinking about bringing a cane around. And then he has other videos where he shows how quick he can use it to like hit people.
Oh, so it's an assault cane too.
Well, it's a self-defense cane, especially for an old man.
Okay.
There's something there where canes are kind of like antiquified and people don't do them anymore because it's so old and whatever. But we could maybe bring canes back, and it's a self-defense tool, and it looks cool, and no one else is doing it. It's kind of like we can be early on canes coming back.
Okay.
Like it's like it used to be a really popular thing. Everyone abandoned it. Now we can kind of bring it back and be cool, and we have all the marketing built in already because we've been doing it for thousands of years. Similar to goodbye. We've said this in the show before. I say goodbye to people now, borderline as a bit. No one says goodbye. They just say bye, see you later, have a good one. All right, goodbye. No one says goodbye. I've been adding that to my repertoire.
There you go.
So goodbye is an example. Canes, goodbye. You guys get the best tips.
All right.
All right, our last clip of the show before shout-outs. People in the store.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call JG Whitworth, 877 cash now. Call JG Whitworth, 877 cash now.
Isn't that good?
They did it.
You're done.
This was like such a strange episode for me. I am done. Yeah, I am.
Well, as long as those kids aren't in any sort of improv troupe or a cappella group, I'm really happy with what I saw there.
Okay. So you draw a line if it's too professional. If it's a bit, he's all for it. If it's professional, he loses interest. It's uncool.
It's uncool.
All right.
You
whatever.
get it.
But at a cane, then you're thrilled. And if Oliver Chuo's there, then you'll do anything to get there.
Yeah. It's
And
not
if there's a drone in the sky, then you love it again. And if the dogs are there, then you hate it.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right.
I'm done.
What is that folder right there?
This electrician shout out.
Okay, we have an electrician shout out. Someone did a nice little mural inside a computer box. Computer box, very cool.
He's drawing it. Fleckus Talks. Thank you for shouting us out.
Thank you for shouting us out. Next.
Fleckus Talks, the podcast, is the best new podcast
Holy
of all
shit.
time. It's the only thing I watch.
That's Adam.
I'm a little bit behind on episodes, so I'm watching them all at the same time
Makes
to get
sense.
caught up.
That's our boy Adam.
Where is that? That's the most screens I've ever seen.
He's got a 6 setup.
That's an amazing setup.
Yep. Very cool.
What does he do? I want to know more.
He's a computer screen man, he said. He's a computer screen guy.
That's good.
Thank you, Adam. Very cool. We're big fans. Okay, shout out to some people. First, happy birthday to Adam's brother, Rob Smith. I swear his name's Adam Smith. His brother Rob Smith has a birthday. It's not a bit.
Adam Smith and Rob Smith. Isn't Adam Smith like a famous economist?
Yeah.
Rob Smith is our favorite guy. That was the guy with the many screens?
I don't know if it's the same person.
Okay.
It might be.
All right.
But yeah, let's just give it to him. That's, happy birthday to Rob Smith. Not a bit different Rob Smith.
Okay.
Happy 32nd year old birthday to Spence. You're a great dad. You have a lovely wife, and congratulations on the soon-to-be 3 children.
Wow, congratulations.
Christmas shout out to Hunter Davis. Shout out to you. Happy Christmas. He's a big podcast guy. He's getting a lot of podcast-related gifts, and I think Bonus Land as well. So this is part of your Christmas gift. Hunter Davis, happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Strong name, too. Hunter Davis.
Hunter Davis.
That's a good name.
Happy birthday to Brandy, who turned 41 today. Love your husband, Perry.
Happy birthday, Brandy, from Perry.
And then I have some special shout outs. Rapboy has a Rat Chat, right? A subscriber Rat Chat on Instagram. And there's great people in that. We love the Rat Chat. And then a lot of people are just so generous at the holidays. Shelby gave me a great gift through Chinese Donut Boy. They facilitated it together. Kendra, shout out to Kendra. She's fantastic, huge show watcher. She's been giving us gifts every year for like years at this point.
Yeah, thank you, Kendra.
And then she gave me money to get Chinese Donut Boy something special. He wanted a pair of Chuck Taylor Converses. So I got those for him. He'll be opening them on Christmas. It's a surprise. Thank you, Kendra. We love you too. Kathy. She sent a bunch of cookies to Rapboy, which he shared with me. They were so good. Kathy, we love you. You're such an incredible show watcher. You've been supporting me since like 2017, probably.
Yeah, crazy.
I've met her in California. She's fantastic. And her whole family watches too.
It's great.
So we're very grateful for the Rat Chat and all you guys, the super hardcore watchers. There's an RRB Funko Pop.
Yeah, this was from the Rat Chat Secret Santa, which always outdoes itself every year. This is an RRB Funko Pop, which is the only Funko Pop I'll allow. I'm not really a Funko Pop guy. That's a certain type of Redditor who does that. But if it's me, I like it. So that was given as a gift in the Rat Chat, and we'll see some more gifts as they come out. But
very cool. Yeah. And then last but not least, Recycled Rocker had too much time on his hands over the last few days, and he wrote the Words Are Just Words opening segment thing on toilet paper.
Which is hard to write on.
Yeah, that's impressive. So thank you guys. Enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy the time off. We're going to be back early January. FleckusTalks.com for Bonus Land. If you're looking for content during that break, there's going to be a new episode, a new Bonus Land episode, and Henchman Maxing 2, the sequel to Henchman Maxing 1. It's going to be fantastic. So if you haven't seen either, now's a good time to sign up. Enjoy your time off. Bonus Landers, we'll see you over the break. Have a good one.